What's happening, guys? Alright, we are in Eustis, Florida now. The hell? Bright lights on that truck coming the other way were affecting my ability to see whether I'm turning, going into the right spot. Anyway, we are on US 441 northbound, and now about getting onto State Route 19. We're going to be picking up a load at Florida's Natural Citrus Facility up here in Umatilla, which is 8 miles away from here. I've been there a few times, maybe 2 or 3 times before. I'm not very, you guys might know that I'm not very often in Florida. JCT as a whole, they actually do a pretty good amount of freight in Florida compared to other companies, but me personally, I'm just not here very much. So it'll look like there's not much here just based on where I tend to do my videos. However, if you do live in this area, it's there's plenty of freight here for you guys to get home with or pick up off of home time or whatever. Florida's Natural, both here in Umatilla as well as down in Lake Wells, are 2 common pickup points. A number of receivers, quite a few receivers, so I couldn't even begin to tell you on that. There's just too many to really name. So yeah, good area here for you guys if you guys live out this way. Alright, anyway, I'm going to be picking up a load of it's usually citrus beverages. I can't remember, like orange juice or whatever kind of stuff like that. And this one's going to be going to definitely a different spot for me. It's be going up to Lewiston, Maine. Yeah, I got to go straight up I-95 all the way up to up past New York and all that. So definitely be a definitely a different route than what I normally do. Very uncommon for me to be along that corridor. Not that I've never been on that corridor with JCT, but it's definitely rare. Let me slide over here. Okay, I do want to talk about something here that has been a common theme in our Facebook groups. We do have some drivers, some former drivers, some still with us, who have been on the bandwagon about JCT, all the decisions they make, or every change that gets made, whatever. They think that it's basically Hirschbach pulling the puppet strings of our management to make certain things happen. And I'm gonna say I can't speak for JCT, but I will say, as an analytical minded person, who, if it was my own company, I would be doing the same thing. Where, any good business, people are gonna come up with their some ways to reinvent the wheel, or how to make it better, how to make it run more efficiently. That's just the way business is done. And sometimes things get changed, sometimes things don't get changed. Sometimes what changes do get made are for the better, sometimes what gets changed is not so great. And it's very common now, because of what's happened recently, at the end of April when JCT was acquired by Hirschbach. Now it seems like every little nitnoid thing that even can remotely resemble something that could be caused by Hirschbach, like, oh, my miles are down, or this new change is coming out now with this policy. Like now, they just announced that we can no longer get fuel from, reefer fuel from 19 affiliates, 19 Pilot Flying J affiliates. So we have to either go to actual Pilot Flying J or to Love's. And, JCT has their reasons for it. I'm sure they've done some bean counting and figured out that it might be more cost effective for them to do it that way. So, can I blame them for that? No. Will it pan out to be a more cost-effective solution? I don't know. Really not my problem to worry about. But just the fact that JCT was acquired by Hirschbach recently, I'm sure people are thinking, and actually I know one person did suggest, not necessarily blatantly say that this is what's going on, but question whether this has something to do with Hirschbach. And I'm going to tell you, because I've been with JCT for 4 years myself, and yeah, I've had plenty of time with the company that was prior to the acquisition. And I will say that I've seen plenty of stuff get changed over the time that I was here before the acquisition. You know, that was just the Christner family doing themselves. And it's just regular, plain old business management principles here. Figure out ways to make it more efficiently without also causing too much churn and all that. So with this recent change, it doesn't necessarily have Hirschbach at all to do with it. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But if it does, why is that such a concern? And then some people saying our miles are down. Well, I showed you in one of my recent videos, my miles are definitely not down by any stretch. I mean, I spent a week and a half parked because my truck was in the shop in April, and I still had 33,000 miles locked in the second quarter. So yeah, no problems getting my safety bonus there. Yeah, and I've been running hard here in July too. I'm already up, I think at 8,000 miles or something like that this month. I mean, definitely well on track to be up above 12,000 miles this month again. Probably even more. So yeah, definitely no problems with getting the miles here. It's just, you know, run your routes effectively, efficiently, whatever, communicate effectively, and there's definitely not that kind of thing going on. I do also hear a lot of complaints that maybe Hirschbach's stealing JCT loads because people are seeing Hirschbach trucks on in California more often than what they used to. I don't think that that's necessarily any different than what it was before. I would see Hirschbach trucks in California before the acquisition. You know, it's just, I'll give you a little analogy here. You buy a new car, let's just say when I bought my Camaro, I wouldn't see very many Camaros on the road in my area. Now that I have one, I see them all the time. Like when I first got mine, though, I would see a whole bunch of Challengers on the road and hardly any Camaros. Now I think I see possibly maybe as many Camaros on the road as I do Challengers. Does that mean that, you know, now there's more Camaros on the road today, now that I have one, than there were back before I had one? No, not at all. Probably the truth is they were already there all along. You just didn't notice them until they became a thing to watch for. It can be anything, even like racism. Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not racism that goes on. I need to move over, by the way, because the shipper's going to be up here on the left side really quick here. But sometimes there's, is this their turn here? It's, no, it's, I don't think that's, I think it's a little bit further up. You know, there are some cases where when you're looking for, like say, racism or whatever, maybe it really is racism, and just like there is with the Hirschbach takeover and pulling puppet strings, per se. Say I can use this. Yeah, this is it right here. You can use this turn here or the next one down. I've never personally used this particular side. Uh-oh. Visitor and employee entrance only. A little bit late now. Well, I'm a visitor, so. And I know this can go through. pretty sure it does. Yeah, I could swear I remember it coming through. It doesn't look like... Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I usually go through the other driveway, but I know it's possible to use both sides. Alright, so gonna have some trucks right here. I do see a JCT sitting here, bobtail, probably waiting for their load. 4486, I think. But I'm gonna go straight ahead, and there's a staging area. Wait, no, you're gonna go that slow. I'm not waiting for your ass any longer. Alright, so there's some staging spots here slanted. I'm going to park in first, and then we'll walk up to the guard shack and get checked in, and then probably end up sliding tandems back, and then go in there, drop my empty, and then should have a loaded ready to go. I'm parked like shit here, but it's alright. I'm the only one here, and I'm expecting I'll probably go straight in and straight out anyway. So let me set my arrival, and I'll get checked in, and we'll figure out what's up here. Alright guys, we do have a load ready to go. I get my this is an on duty status. Alright, yard move it. Drop hook. Alright, so I want you, after you get checking in, slide your tandems all the way back, turn your reefer unit on. Doesn't matter what temp, they just want to make sure it's working. And open your doors so they can inspect it, and then we'll drive up here and they'll check all that. Come on, there we go. Okay, yeah, we'll just come up here and I'll do this inspection, and then we'll turn the reefer unit back off, then go park the, we'll show you where you drop the empty. Alright guys, we're going to drop her empty now. Gotta have me wondering if he was going to reject my trailer over some stupid bullshit. So, at first it sounded like I had a hard time understanding him, because I had a whole, the entire combination there with communication bad. Soft spoken, no teeth, and looking away from me is a bad combination if you want me to hear or understand what you're saying. You have to be looking at me and have your sound waves coming from your voice coming straight toward me and not away from me. For me to understand what the hell you're even trying to tell me most of the time. Alright, so over here in the corner on the southwest side is where we're going to drop our empty. And that JCT trailer right there probably is going to be mine. I'm expecting it to be in this row right here. Anyway, though, there was like a hole in the insulation on the door, on the left door. But it sounded like he was more concerned about a hole, a small hole on the back of the chute. Okay, on reefer trailers, there's a chute that goes from the front to the back of the trailer up on the ceiling. And there was this little hole right in the middle that he seemed like he was concerned about, and he asked the other guy who was the supervisor if it was going to be a problem, whatever. I'm like, seriously, don't fucking tell me you're gonna reject my trailer over that little hole there. There's nothing at all to worry about there at that. I know better. Alright, how about we park it next to these JCT trailers right here. Yeah, half the time he was saying anything to me, his head was looking, he was in front of me and facing the same direction as me, so, yeah. I was having a bitch of a time trying to understand what he was saying at all. Even if he wasn't soft-spoken and didn't have, wasn't a denture wearer, or I assume he had dentures. It seemed like he didn't have teeth in him. Even, yeah, like I said, someone even talks like me, a little more pronounced voice. If you're talking away from me, it's just, you're gonna have a hard time being understood. That's just how, sound wave, physics and sound waves work. Alright, I want to make sure I'm far enough away from that one so I can get the landing gear down easily. I don't want to have to do like what I did at JBS in Louisville, which is to say I drop the landing gear before I get all the way back into the spot. It's not that big a deal, but if I don't need to, why do it? Alright, so I guess this is considered hot weather for them, because they were asking me, actually the older guy was asking me how I was liking this hot weather. I'm like, you call this hot? I mean, okay, it did get up there for a lot of people. It got up above 100 while I was in Fort Pierce. I don't remember how far above. It wasn't, I don't remember it being that far up though. And I said, you call this hot? No, I'm from the Mojave Desert. Yeah, it gets 110 plus on a routine basis in the summertime, and sometimes even 120. Actually, in some areas of the deserts where I live, even sees up to like 130. So yeah, but it's a dry heat. I mean, it's really not that bad. But dry heat or wet, you still have a heat index. some weather weather people. Okay, why my brother-in-law is calling me. I'll have to call him back when I get through doing my drop hook. Okay, we're looking for 7113. There are a couple of our trailers right here. Yeah, 7113 is the one right here on the end. He's calling again, so I'm gonna have to answer it in a second and find out what's going on here. Kind of an odd time to be calling, which makes me wonder if it's an emergency of some sort. Okay, so let me figure out what my brother-in-law was calling for and get this trailer pre-tripped and all that kind of good stuff, and press on here when we're ready to leave. Alright guys, we're about done pre-tripping here. Just gonna slide the Tanos. I don't really care too much where they're at. Again, as long as they meet all the axle length restrictions here along the East Coast. I did notice though that when I went to pull the plunger to release the tandem slide pins, there was air coming out constantly. I think maybe over by where the airbag's at, that is part of that system. But I can't really check it with the tandems all the way back. I had to be able to get back behind the rear axle to check it. Okay, there is a yard seal on the trailer. I don't know if we're okay with me cutting it off and putting my load lock in right here, or if I should wait till I get over there to do it. I'm not going to be able to clear that trailer there without turning this way. Yeah, see, after I already finished filling it up, it's taking a bit of time for it to air back up, and I know it's because the tandem slide system was letting it all go. I know it wasn't the valve, because it wasn't coming from there. I even felt around the valve, and nothing was coming out from there. And it all appeared to be coming from maybe the area where the airbag is on the back. But I couldn't tell. I had to actually release the tandem slide pins to make it do that. So probably something back there venting excessively or sticking, whatever. Alright, best I can tell, I think the tandems were in the 41 and a half foot mark, something like that. Now, a lot of the states there in the east do have a 41 foot limit, but again, that's to the center of the axle group, not to the rear axle. So, I know it'll be fine as it is. I can always adjust some more anyway. No, yeah, the yards, I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if I was okay to cut it and put my load lock in over there.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you're gonna have on there. So.
Yeah. So I know that one's a yard, so I just wasn't sure if I was okay to take it off over here.
Yeah, we always have y'all do that in the back.
Perfect.
Keep her safe. Yep, you too.
Hearing that PA and I'm thinking like, what the hell's going on here? It's just someone talking to their staff though. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and come over here temporarily, send my departure info, figure out what route I want to take back over to I-95, and we'll get out of here. I'm just going to end the video right here too, the way it's not too entirely long, and right now is a good time to change out my SD cards. So this is a not so heavy load. It's not light but not heavy, just a hair under 34,000 pounds. Yeah, orange juice and strawberry lemonade. So that's what I got in this load here. This is going up to again, Lewiston, Maine. Won't be my first time going to Maine, but it's if I do go through Rhode Island and New Hampshire, which I might possibly do, at least I know I'll do at least New Hampshire, if not also Rhode Island, depending on which route I take once I'm up that way. I only have 3 states left to visit before I could say I've been to them all, and that's Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Vermont. I've talked about that before, and people wondering, well, what about Maine? How did you get to Maine if you haven't been to the other 3? Like, don't forget, I was in the Air Force. It was pretty common where I'd go out to, when we do tail swaps or whatever out to Italy. When I was in my active duty unit, we would fly through Maine on the way out there or back. So Brunswick Naval Air Station or Bangor, Maine, been through those places. So yeah, so that's how I've been to Maine, but not to the other states. Even been in Newfoundland, Gander. That's an interesting ability, but now going over to Ormond and Daytona Beach area is a little bit more miles, it looks like, but you get to the interstate quicker. So kind of could be a pick your poison situation there. Two different options here. Let me just out of curiosity see what Google even suggests. I'm inclined to go, let's see, I'm inclined to just go ahead and take 19 straight up, but we'll see. Don't know, I want to keep getting slowed down by stuff. Alright, so 1,383 miles. Google's actually suggesting the 19 to US 17 route. So again, I was kind of looking at that myself. Right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and I guess do that. We'll go ahead and switch out my SD cards, do some of my departure and loaded calls and all that, and get out of here. Again, I'll be delivering this load on the 22nd in Maine, so sometime after that, either later in the day on the 22nd or maybe the 23rd, possibly, I'll probably see that video getting posted, all right? For that, I will say thanks for hanging out and watching this, as always, and we'll see you up in Maine, all right? Take care.